Senator Lankford.
Chairman, thank you. Bill, it's good to see you again. I have the privilege of knowing you for a long time because we served together in the House of Representatives. So while some folks around this dais are just getting a chance to know you, I've seen your work ethic. I know how hard you work on things because I've had the opportunity to be able to see it firsthand. So I appreciate you stepping up on this. There is a certain sense that you get when you get a letter from the IRS that comes to your house, but there's also a certain sense that you get when the President of the United States says, I want you to be the commissioner of the IRS, because it is a very, very difficult task to be able to manage. No one likes paying taxes on everything or likes doing all the math and paying a CPA, doing all those details, but trying to be able to make sure that the law is strictly enforced, that that's actually carried out, and to be able to manage this in the most efficient way possible is absolutely essential for our nation. The death and taxes thing is still true no matter where you are. Those two things are certain. We do have to be able to run a government. That means we do have to do good collection. And we do have to be able to do it the right way. So I appreciate you stepping up to do that.
When he said, I don't know if I would consider being the 51st commissioner of the IRS, I assumed he'd called 50 other people that had turned it down.
Yeah, yeah, rather than 51st total in the country's history. So let me run a couple things past you. We're going to do a tax bill here in the next couple of months to be able to get that done, as we did in 2017. There'll be a lot of work that the IRS has to do to be able to put guidance documents out, to be able to give clear instructions of what that means. They'll have to promulgate a lot of regulations with that. The Trump administration put in place an oversight of the Office of Information Regulatory Affairs, called OIRA, to be able to look at the process when the IRS did regulations. The Biden administration swept that away and said, we're not going to have oversight for IRS. We're going to do what we're going to do, and we're going to do it the way we want to do it. This administration's put that oversight back into place again. How do you anticipate, when regulations are being created in the oversight process, to be able to make sure that it's done on a timely basis, because taxpayers need to get an answer for that, but also there's good oversight in place for the regulations made?
I think that it provides cost-benefit analysis and consistency, and I'm all for it, I guess is what I'd say.
Yeah, all right, that's helpful because, again, it helps us save taxpayer money as well, to make sure there's less litigation, to be able to have somebody over your shoulder looking at it going, yep, all the boxes were checked, this follows the Administrative Procedures Act, this is done correctly. So it gets answers out faster and actually protects us long-term from litigation on it. So that's helpful. Senator Young had mentioned something about casework. I just want to be able to put an exclamation point on that as well. Our caseworkers in state are experiencing more delays on getting an answer back. That in the past has been a crucial lifeline. If we go back several years ago, it was a very long time to be able to get an answer. And so all of our offices were flooded with questions. That's gotten progressively better, and now it's not as good as it was, let's say, 6 months ago. So I think part of the request is, let's make sure that casework side, you're not in that position, you're not leading that at this point, but that will be important no matter who you are, Republican or Democrat, to be able to make sure that our caseworkers are able to call into somebody with the IRS and get an answer, and to be able to make sure that they actually get that response to that. So just want to be able to put an exclamation point on that. During the Biden administration, the IRS started putting out something called soft letters. This was not an audit. It was just a letter to bring information to people, but no one really knew what to be able to do with this. It falls somewhere in between all the different definitions of a letter you're getting from the IRS. We had lots of constituents say, what is this? What do I do with this? Is this an official audit? Is it not an official audit? Do I turn this in? Do I need to contact an attorney? Do I need to give a CBA? What do I need to do with this on this? What I'd like to know is your plan on interacting with constituents in my state and other states on trying to get official communication between IRS and to be able to make sure things are clear, that there's not this soft letter sense of we're doing an audit, but we're really not doing an audit. Because if you're just doing a soft letter, you don't get all the protections that you get when you get an audit. So no one knows where they really fall in this.
What was your experience when you got these and you reached out to the IRS? I mean, could you get answers rapidly or not? Or
what we were getting was we're just requesting information, but it seemed to be a new way to go get it. And no one really knew what their legal protections are. How do I respond to this? How do I not respond to this? If I respond to this, does now an audit begin? What happens with this?
I think by developing the culture that I want to develop, and it's not my culture, but I want to develop a culture over the next 90 days at the Internal Revenue Service with these 90, like I said, I'm going to get in 90 minutes before the building opens every day and let anyone get on my calendar for 10 minutes in the building. I don't care what your position is, if you're the highest ranking person there, or if you've been there 15 minutes, and get your opinion on what's going on. I think things like this, you've got my cell number, everybody on the committee will have my cell number. Don't call me unless you want me to try and help you. Yeah. We will do everything we can to be responsive. I'd like to pattern some of the IRS after Congressman Mark Green's office. A lot of people, you call their office and they say, oh, I'm leaving in 2 weeks for a trip and my kid doesn't have their passport and we need to get a passport. Okay, well, I'll have somebody get back with you that can help you with that. Mark Green's office, you call him and you got a passport issue. Okay, just a minute, let me get out of that screen that I'm in and I'll help you. And they help you instantaneously. Yeah. I got a lot of questions. I don't have all the answers, but I want to develop the answers. And I know Senator Wyden thinks that I'm a gregarious guy and somehow that's bad, I guess, but I truly, truly like people and I want to work with people and I want, we're all in this together. Nobody benefits. I'm not in politics anymore. I'm hoping to be the IRS commissioner if I'm fortunate enough to be confirmed by this committee and off the House floor. So I know people have apprehension. Anytime a Democrat puts up a commissioner, then the other side wants to say, oh, they're a terrible person. Anytime a Republican puts up and say, oh, they're terrible. And I would have liked to have spent the last 5.5 months having people call me and come into their office and talk about issues instead of trying to do whatever to prove that I'm everything but a decent human being. And that's wrong about this town. That's wrong about how things operate. When Charles Rossetti sat here, I think it was 100% out of the committee. I think he got 100% of the votes, and I think on the floor he got 92-0, if I'm not mistaken. But those days are long gone. But he turned the agency around. He had very little, he didn't have any tax experience, but he cared about people. He cared about going out and meeting these different offices. When he'd go out to an office and he'd walk in that day at these district offices, regional offices, and they'd be going out for an audit that day, he'd say, I want to go out on the audit. They'd say, sir, you can't go out on the audit. You're the IRS commissioner.
Thank you.
Said, I can't go out on the audit because I am the IRS commissioner. Yep. And it's a lot of stinking thinking has gone on for a long time, and morale's at a low spot over there, and we only got up to go. Let an outsider with an A personality, the way the last 50,
we need to go on to Senator Warren.
I'm sorry.